We got a new update coming from the Battlefield Comms Twitter account. We're going to go through it here in this video. If you guys end up finding this information useful, leave a like on the video and subscribe for everything Battlefield 6. So Battlefield 6 did put out a community update on their Twitter. We're going to go through everything here. It's basically an open beta debrief where they talk about the things that they learned from these last 2 weekends that we've had with Battlefield 6. But before we do that, I actually have a sponsor on today's video. Check it out. Guys, I've been setting up a second studio space, not just for my second channel, but also for a potential TCG channel that I've been planning. And I wanted a desk and a chair that could keep up with the new workflow. And that's where FlexiSpot came in. Their E7 Pro desk and the C7M chair aren't just good looking, they're built for comfort, durability, and the kind of flexibility I need when switching between filming, editing, and streaming. The FlexiSpot E7 Pro is an electric standing desk designed for stability and heavy workloads. It has a 440-pound load capacity on a rock-solid frame, and the desk comes equipped with a 25 to 50.6-inch height range, meaning I can quickly switch between sitting, standing, or filming overhead shots. With dual motor lift systems for smooth, quiet adjustment and 4 programmable presets, I'm always at the perfect height with a single press of a button. The desktop is water resistant, eco-friendly, and easy to clean. Now, whether I'm deep in editing or standing for card pack openings, the E7 Pro keeps the workflow smooth. And pair that with the FlexiSpot C7M ergonomic chair, and the setup is just complete. With 8 points of adjustability with the seat height and depth, armrest, lumbar support, and headrest, it can adapt to me, not the other way around. Dynamic lumbar support that automatically adjusts to my posture, whether I'm leaning in or sitting back. A breathable mesh back to keep me cool during the long filming days, plus high-density foam for comfort without sagging. You can also get a footrest installed in these chairs so you can have a place to put your dogs after a long day. If you're setting up your first studio or expanding like I am, investing in the right gear makes all the difference. The FlexiSpot E7 Pro desk and the C7M chair have leveled up the comfort, leveled up the workflow, and even my filming options. Check out the links in the description to learn more and grab your own FlexiSpot E7 Pro desk or the C7M chair, or hell, get both. Now, at the time of recording this ad, FlexiSpot is currently running their 9th anniversary sale, up to 65% off on some products on their store. They provide all kinds of different standing desks and ergonomic chairs to meet your exact demand. If you have a limited budget, you can choose their E7 as well. Don't miss out, shop now, and if you liked it, leave a note saying BigfryTV at checkout and use the code down below to save an extra $50 off. Your posture, your back, and your productivity will thank you. So like you guys can see here, they had over 600,000 hours streamed, over 30 million hours watched. Insane. So the initial learnings in the in-game changes, they start with the weapons. They're making targeted adjustments to deliver a more consistent and rewarding gunplay experience. So they're doing a general pass on recoil and tap fire characteristics across all weapons. And they're also making changes to encourage more controlled tap firing and burst firing, rewarding precision and weapon mastery. They say additionally, the M87A1 shotgun now requires more pellets to secure a kill. Well fucking done. They're also investigating time to kill and time to death experiences, and they plan on sharing an update if definitive changes are made in these areas. Now, I did see some people reporting bugs with some time to death. Sometimes it feels like you get shot once or twice and you just get fucking destroyed. They weren't sure if it was a bug. There were kind of rumors or reports circulating that there is a bug with some weapons and the time to death, but we don't really know, and if they're not going to go into it, I don't think we'll ever know. Now, this is the most controversial one that has a lot of people talking, and that's the movement mechanics. They've been adjusted to create a more balanced and traditional Battlefield experience. What that means, I guess we won't really know until we feel it, but they say momentum, especially horizontal speed, carried from a slide into a jump, has been reduced. So you can't just slide out into a jump. A lot of people are equating that to Call of Duty style movement. I actually felt the movement was pretty good in the beta, and I think a lot of people did as well. But of course, you're going to have that vocal crowd who don't want the Call of Duty sliding. They don't want any of that shit, and they're obviously going to be the more vocal ones, and the developers are listening to them and implementing changes. Now, for me, I don't care one way or the other. I thought the movement felt good. I think it's still going to feel good if these changes get made. I do feel like there is a very vocal crowd who gets pissed off anytime somebody can make a maneuver and play better than they can in terms of their movement skill gap. It's fucking annoying, but like it is what it is. Firing while jumping or sliding will result in increase in accuracy. These changes are designed to make sliding and jumping more situational, so they are no longer ideal options for engaging in gunfights. For me, I have to see how it feels. Again, I was a fan of what I played in the beta. There were obviously some bugs that people ran into with forward momentum, carrying them into crazy slides or crazy maneuvers when they would vault out of like windows and be able to jump like boom, boom, and kind of like bunny hop glide across things. Obviously fix that stuff because it's a bug and that's not how it's meant to be played. But I thought, like, you know, you double tap crouch while running, you slide, you hit a little jump, and you kind of jump and kill somebody. I was like, okay, just you know, apparently that's a major problem, but whatever. Parachute physics have also been retuned. Thank fuck for that. With reduced initial acceleration. Yeah, 100%. I'll say this, the fact that this isn't a bug kind of scares me, because did you not play it yourself? Like, clearly it was like broken to the point of that's just silly. So apparently it wasn't a bug. They actually just retuned it. Okay. They said they've observed some players finding a way to reach rooftops and venture out of bounds. Thank fuck. This gameplay is not intended for these maps. We are obviously talking about Siege of Cairo. Well done. And the upcoming ladder for the assault class is also not designed to access these areas. Oh, hey, to all those people on Twitter that were getting at me. Remember when I said that you probably shouldn't be able to get to the rooftops? And then people were like, yeah, but the assault class has a ladder. That's what they're for. No, that's not what they're fucking for. Thank you. We're actively working on adjustments to prevent unintended access and ensure gameplay stays within intended boundaries. Dude, playing Siege of Cairo and watching people fucking glitch their way onto the roofs, it literally ruined the experience. So I'm glad that they're addressing it, because they needed to. We also heard strong feedback from players excited by the larger scale maps that Battlefield has to offer. While the open beta featured smaller, more fast-paced maps, larger scale maps are already part of our launch package, delivering action-packed gameplay and memorable, blah, blah, blah. I really wanted to see what those maps were. That was one of my main complaints about the open beta. It's not even about the game. The game is solid. I just wanted to see a more all-out warfare Battlefield experience in an open beta designed to make me excited about a Battlefield experience. I thought it was a little awkward that we were getting all of these small maps. I obviously knew like Mirak Valley's coming. We knew Operation Firestorm's coming, but I just wanted to like feel it, so we can get a grasp for vehicle balancing, for map balancing. Like, we got to be able to test these things. So obviously they're coming. We'll see what they are like at launch. I hope they're fucking good. Obviously we know Operation Firestorm, but this Mirak Valley, from what I heard, is going to be one of the bigger Battlefield maps in this game. So, I mean, we'll have to see. But they also say here, as part of the upcoming Battlefield's lab testing, we'll be testing 2 new multiplayer maps. So if you're in Battlefield Labs, you're going to be able to test Mirak Valley, which is huge. And then we get into, I think, my biggest complaint with Open Beta Weekend 2, the fact that Rush was an absolute disaster. From MCOM distance, from MCOM timers, from respawn timers, to player count. Every single aspect of Rush in Battlefield 6 that I experienced during Open Beta 2 was a fucking disaster. So I'm curious, let's see what they say. I'm reading this with you guys. The conversation we observed wasn't just about player count, but also how the maps play and the tactical experience they offer. Rush is a mode with deep roots, originally known as Gold Rush in Bad Company, where matches typically blah, blah, blah. Many of you remember this as the golden era of Rush, and it continues to inspire our approach today. Okay, we've experimented with larger player counts over the years, such as 64, 128. While these matches created blah, blah, they overwhelming defenses. Okay. What are you guys doing to change the actual design issues that are in Rush here? Based on feedback throughout recent titles, we're lowering the default player count for Rush to improve the flow of combat and restore the tactical, methodical experience that defines the mode. No, but but that's not what Rush is right now. Rush right now is a disaster. The way you have the MCOM set up, there are some maps where the MCOMs are literally like 20 meters away from an enemy spawn. So if you're attacking and they're spawning right there, it's almost impossible to get it off. Like, the actual map design for where you place the MCOMs within the Rush game mode in that section of map is fucking terrible. For those who enjoy large-scale rush, Portal will allow you to experiment with different player counts at launch. So you're not changing anything? Is that what I'm gathering? What? Okay, hold on a second. When it comes to Rush, the conversation we observed wasn't just about player count, but also about how the maps play, the tactical experience they offer. And then they go into 2 paragraphs about how they've lowered the player count to make it what? For those who enjoy large-scale Rush, Portal will allow you to experiment with different player counts at launch. Okay, will Portal allow us to change the MCOM positioning? Will Portal allow us to change the respawn times? I assume that one would be okay, but can we actually adjust where the MCOMs are placed? Because that's a major problem too. I love how they say, yeah, no, we were listening to the feedback. It wasn't just about player count, but also player count. And then that's it. By the way, Portal will allow you to swap player count. Go fuck yourself. That's what that was. That's interesting. Okay, sure. In contrast, Breakthrough is designed to accommodate higher player counts. Okay, that's where the mode really shines. Using win-loss data from the open beta, we're continuing to make map-by-map balance adjustments towards our goal of 50-50 win ratio for both attackers and defenders. Okay, but is that for Breakthrough, or are you also doing that for Rush? I come from like Battlefield 4 Rush on custom servers where you're playing 32v32 or even 24v24. I thought the 12v12 game mode was kind of ass. Especially, again, the 12v12 is just like the tip of the iceberg. The 12v12 is a problem. I think it should be, at the very least, like 16v16 or 24v24. But even at 12v12, the map design and the map balancing was terrible. The MCOM positioning was terrible. The timing of the spawns were terrible. I would have loved to seen like behind the scenes test footage of Rush to see what the developers think. Because every single content creator that made a video on Rush said the exact same thing. I felt it after 3 games. I knew it was off and I knew it was wrong. And I think Westy put it best. He said that the Rush game mode in Battlefield 6 looks and feels like it was made by people who didn't actually play Rush, but instead looked at what Rush used to be and tried to mimic it. And it's exactly it. It's like, it's kind of there, but it's really not. So I don't know, that inspires zero confidence for me, and that actually kind of bugs the shit out of me, because there's way more issues with Rush than just the player count. There was some confusion around the number of players in different games, so we wanted to take a moment to clarify our current direction for how these get determined. Rather than locking maps and modes to a fixed player count, our philosophy is to adapt the best fit for the intended experience. Okay, some Breakthrough layouts will support 48 players while others will have 64. Okay, I don't care about that. That's fine. Sure. Obviously, if you're using dynamic sections of maps, it's going to change the player count based on the size. That's of course. We recognize that some players experience difficulty finding games to complete the challenge of capturing Yeah, dude, that challenge was so weird during the beta as well. What's weird to me is you had a challenge where you had to capture sectors in either Breakthrough or Rush. But the thing is in Breakthrough, on a defender side, if you're defending A and B, and let's say a team, let's say you're defending and they capture A, but you guys are still holding B, if you're a player and you help capture back A and recapture that sector on defense, you don't get a point towards your challenge. Even though you did just recapture a sector, you don't get a point towards the challenge because it's reading it as a sector and not a section of a sector. So the only way to actually get points of capturing sectors is on attack, where you capture A and B and then it says sector taken. So they made a challenge in the beta that was only good for attacking, but then they made a custom search option that didn't really help you in getting attacking or defending. And a lot of people were reporting that they were just consistently getting defense rounds back to back to back, and they weren't able to complete the challenge. It was really, really weird. So what are they going to do about it? It wasn't ideal, and we're actively using your feedback and in-game data to review and improve the matchmaking system. So no changes. They're looking into it, guys. Okay. reflecting on the open beta and next steps. With the insights gathered during the open beta play sessions, we will be introducing in-game adjustments in upcoming Battlefield Labs events. And that's it. So they're nerfing the movement. We don't know what that looks like. They're nerfing the way to get onto the rooftops in maps like Siege of Cairo. That's a great change. They nerfed the shotgun. Fantastic. We'll have to see how it plays. And honestly, this was kind of just a really big nothing burger in terms of like major problems to things like modes, as well as the playlist matchmaking options to be able to finish challenges. As we all know, Battlefield 2042 did just drop a huge like battle pass where if you play right now all the way, I believe, until October 7th, there's a bunch of skins you can get for the launch of Battlefield 6, which I actually think is pretty cool. Although I think a lot of people are upset that they have to actually go and play 2042 to get the skins. I still think 2042 has come a long way since launch, but I will say, jumping back into 2042 after playing Battlefield 6, I don't think that was a great idea. I really don't. I think most people are looking at this and going, holy fuck, 2042 is actual dog shit in comparison. So I don't know what the point of that was. At the end of the day, I can joke, I can jest, I can talk shit, but at least these developers are coming out and trying to be communicative and I guess talking about some of the stats that they found and some of the things that they're seeing. I really wish we could actually get some answers into what they're doing instead of the like, hey, we gathered insights, we will be introducing in-game adjustments. Like, what does that actually look like? Obviously, I'm happy with the shotgun nerf. I don't know how I feel about the movement. I got to see how egregious it is. According to Florian, who is like the principal lead game designer on Battlefield, he says it's a bit difficult to bring contrast through a blog post, but they're absolutely not drastic changes. This is obviously in regards to the movement. We're still trying to retain depth to movement with some skill curve to it, just making sure that it doesn't become insane. I'm okay with that as long as it's not ridiculously nerfed. We'll have to see how it feels. And obviously with the upcoming Battlefield Labs test, we should be able to see those changes implemented and we'll know just how egregious those nerfs are. But overall, this was kind of like a mixed bag update. I wish they could have gotten a little bit more in depth with the problems of Rush and not just chalk it up to people complaining about player counts, because I think that mode, like in its entirety, just needs a complete redesign. But as always, I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on this update. I'm trying to keep up to date with everything Battlefield straight from the mouth, not talking about rumors. Like, we can discuss it, but basically take it with a grain of salt. I'm more interested in what the developers are coming out and actually saying to people in replies, in tweets, in these comm updates. This is the real information that we have to go off of leading up to that October 10th launch. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let's keep this Battlefield conversation rolling. As always, my name is Big Fry. Leave a like on the video and subscribe for more Battlefield 6 content. I'm a fan of what the game has to offer. I hope that on October 10th, we see those large-scale maps in action and we can get that true Battlefield experience back. And then I don't have to watch people glitch into Siege of Cairo rooftops and fuck up the entire game for everybody else. My name is Big Fry. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.